Hey Virgo, this reading today is for all of my single Virgos and we're going to see what could be coming towards you in love this week. So this is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And yeah, it's a general reading, you guys. Keep that in mind. It may or may not resonate. You're always welcome to take what works and leave the rest. So we're going to get right into it today, Virgo, and we're going to see what could be coming towards you in love for my lovely single Virgos this week. First message coming out today, we have got the Nine of Swords. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this is definitely heavier energy. You might have a bit of a tendency this week to get up in your head, Virgo. That's what the Nine of Swords is. It's the overthinking, the the what ifs, the wondering, what if this doesn't happen? What if that does happen? What if I never find love? What if it never works out? Like, it's a lot of that kind of anxious, uncertain type of energy. So watch out, because you could be up in your head a little bit this week. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo. Knight of Swords, okay. I'm getting an interesting message, you guys. So the Knight of Swords is air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So here's the thing, you guys. Knight of Swords charges in. So this definitely gives the vibe that there could be somebody this week who is like actively pursuing you. I think their energy is going to feel very focused on you. And that's the thing with the Knight of Swords is like, they're a go-getter. They go after what they want. And when they want something, nothing gets in the way. And so I do feel like someone is really going to be actively pursuing you this week. Now, the interesting thing too that we have to talk about with the Knight of Swords is that sometimes the Knight of Swords charges in, but is not that consistent or good with follow through. The Knight of Swords can be somebody who is like, here for a good time, not a long time, maybe inconsistent, right? It's like their attention is fully on you and then they pull it back sometimes. So like sometimes it feels really good. It feels like you're in the spotlight. They're super into you. But they can struggle a little bit with follow through and consistency. So maybe that's what's making you feel anxious. Like there could be somebody pursuing you this week, Virgo, but you're trying to figure out like, what are their intentions? Tell me more about what could be coming toward Virgo. Oh, this is going to get interesting. Okay. This is going to be a two-person reading today, Virgo. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and this is Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I actually think you might have a choice here. I actually think you might have two people here who are pursuing you this week. And now I can see why you're a little bit anxious as well, because maybe you're feeling nervous about who to choose. Am I making the right choice? Who should I ultimately pick, right? So here's what we're gonna do for the rest of the reading. Today, we're gonna look at person one and person two. Okay, so that's how we're gonna navigate this today, Virgo. Person one is the Knight of Swords, person two is the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So for those of you dealing with potentially two people who are interested in you, we're gonna look at both of these energies to kind of see what's up, right? Because I do think you're gonna feel a bit overwhelmed, right? Up in your head, like, what if I choose person one, but then I decide I want person two? It's like a lot of that very anxious energy. So let's look at both of these people and hopefully it can give you a little bit more insight into what you might wanna do here, okay? So we're gonna start with person one, okay? Knight of Swords. So we're gonna look at their overall energy, what they might be feeling this week and what they might be doing. So we're gonna look at them first and then we will look at person two. So let's start with person one. Tell me about their energy this week, please. 10 of Wands, okay. They've got emotional baggage. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, who doesn't? You know what I mean? So I think we're gonna have to look at it. My first impression, I'm gonna tell you, I worry a little bit sometimes when I see emotional baggage coming through in a reading because my next thought is, okay, so if they've got this emotional baggage, are they ready for a relationship? If that's what you're looking for, right? Or do they have unresolved issues that they still need to deal with? I'm gonna tell you something that's coming to mind. I'm wondering, you can let me know if this is true, Virgo, but with person one, I know we just started looking at them, but are you worried that they're rebounding with you? I am getting that message as well. Take it or leave it, but I am getting a little bit of that. But let's keep going. Tell me about person one, please. The Lovers. They definitely have feelings for you. Could be dealing with a Gemini. It's interesting because the Lovers is about love and feelings, but it is about a choice, right? So it's like they love you, but or they're falling for you, but are they gonna choose you? The Knight of Swords can be a little bit flighty sometimes. Tell me more about this person's energy, please. And then the Strength card. Okay, that's good. I mean, if their feelings are strong enough for you, Virgo, maybe this can help them overcome any sort of fears that are holding them back, right? So this is positive. It's Leo energy, so maybe this person is a Leo. But I do think that What could be happening is that they're developing stronger feelings for you than what they initially anticipated. So they might have gone into it thinking like, oh yeah, I'll just have fun with Virgo. This will just be like a casual fling. We'll hang out, whatever. And then they started to realize like, I'm falling for Virgo. Okay. And it starts to become more real. Okay, what could they be feeling? What is this? Okay, that's actually very fascinating. This card came jumping out to the side here, you guys. So when I asked what they're feeling, the Six of Cups came up. This is a card that ties heavily to the past. I feel like this relates to the emotional baggage. I think what's going on for person one is that they have emotional baggage from the past that is still weighing very heavy on their emotions. It does feel unresolved. It does feel like there is some sort of tie to the past. Maybe they've even got an ex who's still in the picture, maybe an ex who's making things difficult. Maybe that's why I was intuitively picking up on you wondering if you're a little bit of a rebound. You know what I mean? So I do think we are seeing acknowledgement that there is some sort of past stuff that could be weighing on your person emotionally. Tell me more about what they could be feeling, but they're attracted to you. Yeah, it's like on the one hand, they've got some baggage, but on the other, it doesn't change the fact that they want to flirt with you and they want to get to know you, right? They're definitely attracted to you. Tell me more about what they could be feeling this week. Seven of Swords. Okay, person one is definitely interesting, you guys. So Seven of Swords is the thief of the tarot is what we usually call it. It's a card that can be associated with trickery, deceit. It's a card that can be associated with self-sabotage. And that's how I'm strongly feeling this energy today. I worry, as much as I see that this person is developing feelings for you and maybe developing more feelings than they thought they would, I think that if they don't deal with whatever this emotional baggage is, there is the possibility here that they completely self-sabotage. I do see that possibility, okay, Virgo? It's unfortunate because, you know, when we have these unresolved issues, sometimes we make bad decisions, you know, we get blocked, and I feel like as much as this person does want to pursue things with you, you might see them self-sabotage and you might be like, why are you doing this? Like, we've got a good thing going on here. And I would just watch out for this with this person. It's not malicious, you guys. It's not like they're trying to do this. Usually when we self-sabotage, it's more of an unconscious thing. I mean, why would you sabotage yourself, right? Like, why would anyone consciously do that? Be kind of weird. So usually it's like an unconscious thing. I would watch for that though. Like, there could be a moment with this person where you're like, I feel things are going really good. And then all of a sudden they're pulling back, they're not calling, they're not texting, and you're left wondering what's going on. So hopefully this can give maybe a little bit of an explanation of what could be happening there. It's unfortunate because I do think they really like you. Let's see what actions they could be taking this week. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, I do think they want to see how things go with you guys. I'm getting, so the Ace of Pentacles is about loyalty and commitment. I feel like a past person betrayed their trust. So it's like they want to be able to open up and trust you, Virgo. It might be hard for them if they've been burned before in love. What other actions could they be taking? King of Wands. There's definitely a lot of attraction here between you and this person. A lot of attraction. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking this week. The Moon. I was just, the reason I kind of paused there is I was talking about the attraction, and I was getting the message of somebody who's really like leaning into the physical attraction between the two of you, which is great, super fun. We all want that. But I was like, the only Cups energy that I see here, because Cups is about the emotions, is a Six of Cups. So the only emotions I'm really seeing strongly come through for your person are related to the past, right? And then we've got this very interesting energy of the Moon, which tends to indicate things that are hidden. You know, I just feel there's probably a lot more going on with this person than what you're aware of, Virgo, okay? I think there's a lot of baggage, and you know, if you're just meeting this person, you're probably not going to know about this right away. This is someone who's got a lot going on below the surface. That's what I get with that Moon energy. Like a lot of stuff that maybe you're not fully aware of, and maybe they're not like fully aware of. I feel like I've got cat hair on my face. Sorry, you guys. I have two cats. I feel like I've got cat hair everywhere. But I feel like with the Moon, it's like there's a lot going on that could be influencing your relationship, but not all of it might be clear. And that's where the confusion can come in, where you think that things are going well between the two of you, but then they shift. And like I said, like, I would not be surprised if this is someone who's like super into you, and then the next day they're like not calling, not texting, and you don't hear from them, and you're like, what is happening? I thought they were super into me. It's that kind of vibe. And it's because I think there's a lot going on below the surface that is not clear and that is influencing your connection potentially. So on the one hand, with person one, it's like, yeah, I do feel there is potential here. But I feel like in order for things to work out, your person's gonna have to make sure they don't sabotage this relationship, and they might. Okay, so let's look at person two, Knight of Pentacles. Tell me about their energy for this week, please. Four of Swords, maybe they're a little bit quieter, a little bit more introverted. I will say there is also a very big difference in how the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles progress a relationship, right? Knight of Swords like comes jumping in super fast, super quick. It's usually very exciting, but like I said, they're not that consistent necessarily. Knight of Pentacles is the opposite, like much more slower moving, but much more focused on moving slowly with the intent of building a foundation to the relationship. Tell me more about person two, Five of Cups. I'm getting an energy that they're moving slower, because I do think they've been let down before in love, and maybe they've learned that moving quickly is not good for them, you know? I think once you have an experience where you move really fast and then it fizzles out, it makes you a little bit more cautious. That's the vibe I'm getting for person two. Tell me more, please. Eight of Pentacles. But person two, when they invest, Virgo, okay? Person two's energy feels very serious to me, in the sense of like, not like serious, you know, but like serious commitment. I think they're looking for long-term. I do not get the impression they are looking for casual. I do think that they have had some disappointments in love. I think that's allowed them to clarify what they want. And I do think this is someone where when they choose you, Virgo, they choose you. They show up for you. They support you. They put in the effort, right? So this is probably someone who, I gotta say, they probably don't come in with this super flashy energy, Virgo, you know, but this is the kind of person who's always gonna have your back and be really consistent. So it's a contrast. Like I said, the Knight of Swords comes in quick and, you know, like big energy, and then the Knight of Pentacles is a lot quieter, but we're seeing more consistency with person two. Tell me what they could be feeling. Seven of Pentacles, yeah. So much Pentacles energy. Very patient, very intentional. Seven of Pentacles is about planting those seeds of intention so that it, you know, it can grow into something amazing, which represents your potential relationship, right? Tell me more. Queen of Cups, how are they feeling? Look at this, you guys. This is really good, Virgo. Queen of Cups is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. First thing I'm going to say about this person is they're probably very emotionally mature. I do think they've gone through some tough relationship experience, but I think they've learned from it and it has made them more mature. The other thing too with the Queen of Cups and their feelings, we know we love to see this energy in someone's feelings, Virgo. It's somebody who is opening their heart to us, somebody who is emotionally available, somebody who loves us, somebody who is good at communicating about their feelings. So I definitely see that, yeah, maybe this person is not the flashiest person in the room. Maybe things are not moving as quickly as other situations, but like there's a lot of intentionality here and a lot of emotional maturity that I see from person two. Let's see what else they could be feeling this week. The Four of Pentacles, yeah. I do think you're a person, you know, I was gonna say they're perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. I do think your person is maybe still working to let go of some things from the past. The only thing that I see as like a challenge here potentially is that you might not like the pacing of this person, okay? It does feel slower. It does feel like they're being very intentional, but it does feel like they've been hurt before. And that, I think that's why they're moving slower, because it's like they don't want to move so quick and then it burns out fast. I will say you might be a little bit more frustrated with person two because of the pacing. It's tough though, because I feel like if you give person two a chance, it'll blossom into something beautiful, but it's hard when you've got a contrasting energy like we're seeing today between person one and person two, because person one is like in your face, showing up, pursuing you, but like I said, they could also be out the door as quickly, but they're flashier, right? Person two doesn't have that flashy energy, and I think sometimes that energy we can end up ignoring it, even though that's the person who has really good potential for long-term relationship. Just some food for thought, right? What actions could they be taking this week? The Knight of Wands. That's funny. Okay, maybe this person realizes the pace at which they're moving is a little too slow and then they pick things up. I actually kind of like this, you guys. It's making me a little giddy. Fire energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So maybe your person initially is moving a little bit slower and then they're like, oh gosh, like I really like Virgo though, so I got to pick up speed a little bit. Like they might start to realize if they don't pick up speed a little bit, maybe they'll lose this opportunity. It's kind of cute. I feel like this person's energy is very self-aware. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking. Ace of Wands, pursuing this new beginning, really kind of like amping up the passion between the two of you. Tell me more about what actions they could be taking. And then the Seven of Cups. Okay. Yeah. I think the biggest thing for your person is there's going to be person two, is there's going to be a little bit of that internal struggle related to pacing. I think with person two, like I said, they might move a little bit slower and then they realize, oh, I got to move a little bit faster, but they're trying to find the right balance, right? And the Seven of Cups is really telling here because Seven of Cups is, I want to make sure I'm seeing the truth of a situation and not an illusion. And I almost feel, again, it fits with what I was saying with pacing. It's like your person two realizes it takes time to get to know somebody. And so they want to get to know you, but they also know that really getting to know somebody takes time. And so they want to make sure that the two of you are falling in love with each other for who you are and not just because of that quick spark that develops in the beginning. I think their energy is very genuine. Like, I hope that's kind of coming through here, Virgo. There might be some issues here where because they're not moving as quick as the Knight of Swords, it might be easier to write them off. I definitely see potential with person two if that's who you choose to pursue. But I see them being a little bit more careful. And again, like, it's kind of interesting because you've got one person with the Knight of Swords, person one, who's like charging in, but then we also talked about how they could end up pulling back. So yeah, at first maybe it's really exciting, but then it's not exciting when they go hot and cold. But then person two is maybe not rushing in as quickly, but yet when you get to that commitment, it's very solid. That's the contrast I'm seeing here, okay? Okay, so that's person one and person two. Let's wrap up today with a couple of advice cards. So let's get some advice for Virgo, please. Eight of Swords. Okay, I'm getting a very interesting message here. I feel like the advice with this card is, bear with me, but the advice is like, move towards the person who doesn't cause you anxiety, okay? So what I mean by that is, let's go back to one of the examples I talked about in the reading. We talked about person one maybe being a bit hot and cold sometimes. Guess what happens when somebody is hot and cold? It makes us anxious. It makes us doubt ourselves. It makes us wonder what they want and where things are going. And you know, one of the big things that I, talk to people about, take it or leave it, this is just kind of my thoughts, like, how does someone make you feel in your body? Because I think that can tell you a lot. Because personally, if you're always feeling anxious about somebody, like, I don't know you guys, I feel like a healthy relationship, you should feel like a sense of peace, like calm, secure. And so I feel like that advice is saying if one of these people is making you feel anxious all the time, maybe the other person is a better fit, right? What other advice do we have? The Fool, okay. But I do think it's important to put yourself out there this week. Let yourself explore these connections. Take a little bit of a leap of faith, You don't have to have everything all figured out right now. Give yourself the chance to explore. And then the Emperor, okay. So the Emperor is Aries energy. It's very stable. So I feel like the advice here, there's a little bit of a theme around looking for someone who creates that sense of security and stability, right? Looking for someone who can be stable. I'm getting another message here, someone who can hold down a job. So I don't know if you've dated people before, Virgo, who struggle with employment or maintaining employment. That can create a lot of inconsistency. So I feel like the outcome here is like, put yourself out there, explore these connections, but also watch out for the person who can provide that stability and consistency, and that person who maybe makes you feel more of that sense of peace and easiness within the relationship versus someone who makes you feel anxious all the time. That's the advice that I see. Take it or leave it as always. But I think it could definitely be an interesting week if you're exploring these two connections. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there for you, Virgo. If you enjoyed this reading, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And of course, I wish you love and happiness, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.